Okay, well, welcome to tonight's webinar on overcoming self-sabotage. My name's Shane Fozard from Australian Success Academy, and so I just want to ask you a few questions. Tonight you're going to learn how to get rid of that monkey off your back. And imagine what it would be like if you could step into your desirable future and see what's really out there for you. Imagine being able to go through a really cool process where you'll remember the past and you'll find out what limiting beliefs you've already learned to overcome. Now, if you haven't met me before, or you haven't been to one of the courses that I run, well, I'm the presenter, the coach, and the CEO for Australian Success Academy. I've trained well over 3,500 people across Australia in both hypnotherapy and neuro-linguistic programming. I'm responsible for creating and designing a number of courses, one being Intimate Success, which is a relationship-focused course that takes people through a series of strategies, tools, hints and tips that are used by the world's most successful relationship therapists, showing people how easily they can have that honeymoon feeling forever in their relationship, but also showing people that are single how they can really focus and find that one true love that's going to really light them up. The other courses that I've created and designed is the Australian Hypnosis Certification, which is a 2.5-day course, really showing people how easy it is to learn hypnosis and then to get greater control over the power of their mind, and show them how easy it is to make changes in their life as well, but then also how they can show other people to do the same. I then also created Australian Success Mastery Phase 1, Phase 2 and Phase 3. And that's a series of programs, advanced programs. Phase 1's a 5-day, Phase 2's 7 days, and Phase 3's another 7 days, where we take people's understanding of hypnotherapy, neuro-linguistic programming, neuroscience, peak performance to a whole nother level, and showing you how you can create significant changes in your own life and then in the lives of other people as well. And Phase 3 is really about how to use all those skills to have greater influence over a group of people, to be a more effective leader, and really showing you how you can overcome things like fear of public speaking as well. To give you some further context, there's a few photographs of me in some of the events that I've ran in the past, celebrating with some of the graduates and a few of my mentors as well. Now look, so often when I speak to people, they talk about all this action that they've taken and the work that they've done to prepare, and they tell me how that all of a sudden, when it really counts, sometimes they just don't deliver, or they just don't show up for an important meeting, or they treat someone poorly, or they just don't do the right thing, and sometimes they just don't follow through. And a lot of people just don't understand why they keep sabotaging themselves. Now, sabotage only comes from one reason. It's important to learn to understand what drives human behavior, because when you're sabotaging yourself, what you're actually doing is you're stopping yourself from following through, right? And a lot of people ask, why am I sabotaging myself? Well, it's simply because you associate more pain to following through. You're sabotaging yourself as a way of avoiding doing something that you think that on some level is going to create a lot more pain in your life. And to some people, they think that succeeding will actually create this pain. They think that it will make them feel alone or isolated from others. And so as soon as they get close to succeeding, they end up sabotaging themselves. Now this happens because some people notice that when they do succeed, other people that surround them don't give them as much attention anymore. Or occasionally they even get unwanted attention. But however, when they fail, well, what happens is friends and family members tend to rally around them, supporting them, telling them that everything will be okay and make them feel good again. And so you can understand that with that sort of conditioning, it's no wonder that so many people self-sabotage. And we have to learn to take control back. And the way we take control back is to start to change our associations to the things that we're actually sabotaging. Look, and another point to mention that is equally, if not more important, is that a lot of people jump to conclusions about sabotage. So many people say, I just keep sabotaging my success. And so I'll say to them, Are you sabotaging your success, or are you just doing stupid things? And what I mean by that is that not everything you do that takes away from the areas you want to succeed in are as a result of self-sabotage. Sometimes we just make poor decisions. And the reason I say that is because you don't want to start making up some story in your life about how you have some huge dominant pattern that's dictating your directions and your decisions in life. And look, a lot of people do that for a number of reasons. For example, this woman that I met, came up and she started telling me, look, she said, Shane, look, I just sabotage myself all the time. And I said, what do you mean specifically? She said, well, look, the other day I was late for work for the second time in a row. And so I said, well, what does that mean to you? I said, well, look, I was late and that just screws up my whole plan for the day. I must be sabotaging myself. So I said, well, look, maybe you just got caught up in what you were doing. He said, nah, look, I think I sabotaged myself. I said, well, why else do you think that? He said, well, not only was I late, but I forgot some of my work at home. And so I wasn't just late. I left all my books at home, and so I wasn't prepared for some of the meetings that I had planned that day. And so I asked her, well, how often does that happen? She said, I don't know, maybe once or twice a month. And so I said, well, maybe you're not self-sabotaging. Maybe you're just not paying attention. And so just be careful about generalizing this idea in your mind and be wary not to create a limiting belief system about something that may not be true. Now, on the other hand, if you do have a pattern, then realize just like any pattern that you may have, including self-sabotage, it still comes back to one thing. That human beings, no matter what we're doing, we do things for a positive intent. And you need to understand that. Anything we do for a positive intent. For example, if you smoke cigarettes, then you're not doing it to create cancer in your body or destroying yourself with all these toxic chemicals and carcinogens. That's not the intent. The intent is that your brain long ago created this linkage saying, hey, if I'm bored or frustrated or feeling some kind of pain or discomfort, then this behavior is a way to distract myself. This is a way to literally get rid of the pain and get rid of the discomfort and feel more pleasure. And that's what your brain has learned to do. So the intent of smoking is not to sabotage your health. The intent to smoking is to create pleasure and avoid pain. Okay, so what I'm about to do is I'm going to teach you a process and guide you through it so you can get immediate results straight away. So you can really overcome that self-sabotage that you may have in your life. And I want you to think about goals. Now, I want you to realize that a goal is not an endpoint. Once you complete a goal, there's going to be another goal there. And then another one after that, and then another one after that, and it just keeps continuing. And in a lot of cases, we get so focused on the goal at hand that our brain starts to think that there's only one goal there. That it's kind of like a finishing line. And even though logically we think, first I want to get a job, then I want to generate some money, and then I want to find a loving partner, and then start my own business, and then start a family, and then possibly write a book, and do all these things. And even though they're linked up consciously, neurologically, and even unconsciously, sometimes they're not. And they can seem like finishing lines for a lot of people. And this can be another big reason why people self-sabotage, is they don't want to get to that end point because it starts to make them question their own life. And so rather than seeing your goals as an end point, this next process is going to help you to discover a number of goals, maybe some you're even unaware of at this point, that are in your future, and we're going to neurologically link them together. Associate a lot of emotion with it as well, so that unconsciously, you'll just feel yourself getting pulled through from goal to goal, achieving amazing success, and really stepping into your destiny and your true greatness. So get excited for that. Look, before we do start with this process, please ensure that you have a pen and paper handy. You're going to need that. So please, if you don't have pen and paper, go and grab some right now. You have a few seconds. Now, as I'm taking you through this process, it's important that you play full out during it. and trust your unconscious mind. And what I mean by that is to help you go unconscious and to help you get the unconscious responses, as well as to ensure we're going to cover everything in a short space of time. I'm going to go through this process with a little bit of pace. Now, it's not about getting things perfect. It's about getting something down on paper and feeling what it's like to go through the process. If you focus too much on getting things down perfectly, coming up with the perfect goal, or the perfect emotion, or the perfect belief, or what may happen is you may second guess yourself and you might want to change your decisions and you might even get left behind on the process. So what I'd say to you is just play full out and trust your unconscious responses, which are going to be your first responses. Close enough is good enough. You can always take yourself through this process multiple times if you choose to. Now, before we begin, let me explain the process so you have an overview of what's going to happen. In front of you, you can see a worksheet that has a number of columns with labels up the top, such as past, present, future 1, future 2, future 3, future 4, and future 5. And you also have another column at the start of that table that has belief, emotion, concern, and goal listed in it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to have you stepping into the past, stepping into the present, stepping into the future, or a number of different moments in the future. And I'm going to ask you to really associate to those moments, to use your imagination, and to discover some beliefs in that moment, to discover some emotions, to discover some concerns you may even have, and also to create some goals. And the way it's going to work is if I direct your attention at the present column, the goal that you set for yourself today will become the moment that we're going to use as your starting point for future 1. So when we move to future 1, that will be you having achieved the goal that you set in the present column. And then as we go through future 1, when you set a goal for the future 1 column, well, future 2 will be the moment that you've actually achieved the goal from the future 1 column. And it will just continue like that. So the goals will be the starting point for the next column moving through. And it's a really powerful process that will uncover some emotions that maybe you're unaware of, some concerns that maybe you're unaware of. And you'll also make some distinctions and insights. Fantastic. Let's start. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the present moment. What is your belief about your life right now? And I want you to write that down in the present column. What's your belief about yourself right now? The next thing I want you to do is write down what's the main emotion that you feel in this present day. And I want you to write that down in the present column. I want you to ask yourself, what's my main emotion? What's the main emotion that I have right now? Am I worried about not having enough money? Am I worried about my relationship? Am I worried about my health? I want you to write down, what are you most worried about right now? And write that down in the present column. And then finally, what are you aiming for right now? What is your goal right now in this present moment? And write that down. So now you should have in the present column a belief written there, an emotion that you're feeling, your main concern, and your main goal. Fantastic. Now what I want you to do is I want you to imagine yourself stepping into the future, into the moment where you've just achieved that last goal that you wrote down, that positive outcome. And as you think about having achieved that goal, wherever it is, and at that point, I want you to see the things you're seeing in that moment. Feel the way you were feeling. Breathe the way you're breathing in this moment, having achieved that goal. And right now, I want you to write down, what's the main belief that you have about yourself now that you've achieved that goal? What's the main emotion that you have in this current moment, having achieved that goal? I want you to ask yourself, what's your main concern? What's your next concern about yourself, about life, in this future moment, having achieved that goal? And now that you've achieved that goal, what's your next goal for yourself? What's your next desirable point in time? And I want you to write that down. I'll give you a few seconds. So right now you should have a belief, an emotion, a concern, and a goal written down in the future one column. Great. Now here's where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. I want you to take a few steps back into the past now. The past meaning that where's that place just before where you are today? Just before your present life conditions. That past moment where you were dreaming of who you are today and what you have today. So for example, for me, it'd be many years ago running my first seminar in a small country town for 30 people, having spent $2,000 of my own money to put on this event, hoping that I could help people create this significant change in their lives and hoping that they'd also be ready to receive these amazing tools. And so ask yourself, what is it for you? Where were you before where you currently are today? This is your past moment. Now in that past moment, let's look at those same 4 elements. Ask yourself, in this past moment, what's my main belief? What's my main emotion? What's my main concern at this point in time? And back then, what was your main dream? What was your goal? What was your goal back then? And it may even shed some perspective on where you are right now. And go ahead and write them down in the past column. Your main belief, your main emotion, your main concern, and your main goal. In the past, at that point in time. And I'll give you a few seconds. Fantastic. Now this next part is a closed eye process. So go ahead and close your eyes. And step back into the past. The person you were back then. And with your eyes closed, I want you to notice what it was like to be you, that old you. That person you used to be. The one you are before where you are today. And I want you to breathe the way you were breathing back then. See the things you were seeing. Hear the things you were hearing. Say what you were saying to yourself in that moment, in the past. And notice, here, what's that main belief about yourself that you had? What's the main emotion that you have? What's your main concern? And what did you want more than anything? What was your goal? That's right. Good. And as you focus on all of those things, now I want you to imagine yourself in your mind's eye, stepping forward into the present moment. And as you step forward into your mind, into that person that you are today, I want you to notice how things have now changed. How do you feel about where you are right now? That's right. Good. And as you see the things you're seeing, as you feel the way you're feeling in this present moment, as you say what you say to yourself, now in a moment, not now, but in a moment, when you're ready, you're going to open up your eyes and you write down how you feel about where you are in this present day, knowing that some things may have changed. They may have changed from what you've written down earlier, and that's okay, because change is good. Now, in a moment, I'm going to get you to open up your eyes. I want you to write down what's your main emotion that you're feeling? What's the main belief? What's the main concern? What's your main goal that you've got for yourself right now in this present moment? Knowing that you've created so many changes from the past. Go ahead and open up your eyes and write those down. What's your main belief? What's your main emotion? What's your main concern? And what's your main outcome? Should only take a few seconds. That's right. And now that you've set that goal again, let's make it even easier for you to achieve this. Now I want you to go ahead and close your eyes again. And as you listen to my voice, see yourself in the present day, in your mind's eye. And now I want you to step forward into the future, into that place where you've just achieved that last goal, on a journey to bigger and better things. Having achieved that goal, it feels so amazing, doesn't it? That's right. And I want you to see the things you're seeing. Feel the way you're feeling in that moment, having achieved that goal. And from this point, ask yourself, what is my main belief about myself now? What is my main emotion that I feel now, having achieved this outcome? What's the main concern that I have at this point? And what's my next big outcome? And when you're ready, open up your eyes and write that down in the future one column. What's your main belief about yourself? What's your main emotion? What's your main concern? And what's your main goal? Knowing that some of them may have changed, and that's okay. I'll give you a few seconds to write all that down. Now for the next one, go ahead and close your eyes. And I want you to see yourself in that future moment. And now I want you to step forward, float further into the future, having achieved that next goal. That's right, in that moment where you know you've just achieved that next goal. And feel what it's like to feel having achieved that amazing outcome. Say what you're saying to yourself in that moment. Breathe the way you're breathing at that point. Hold your body the way you're holding it. That's right. And as you focus on all of that, ask yourself, what is my main belief about myself now? What is my main emotion that I have about myself? What's my next main concern in this future moment? And what's the next goal I'm going to set for myself? And as you focus on that main belief, that main emotion, that main concern and goal, in that future moment, I want you to now open up your eyes and write all 4 of those elements down in the future to column. Go ahead. Now go ahead and close your eyes. And this time, step further into the future, into that moment having achieved just that last goal, that next future goal. You've just achieved it. And notice what it's like. And see it through your own eyes now, having just accomplished that goal. And ask yourself, what is my main belief about my life? What is my main emotion that I'm now feeling? What's my main concern? And then what's the next goal I'm going to set for myself? That's right. And as you think about all of those 4 elements, go ahead and when you're ready, open up your eyes and write all those things down. Your main emotion, your main belief, your main concern, and your next outcome and goal. Write these down in the future 3 column. Fantastic. Great. Now go ahead and close your eyes again. and float forward even further into the future and picture yourself having achieved that next goal, that next big thing that you are aiming for. Imagine yourself in that place having achieved that outcome. And from this place, see it through your own eyes. Breathe the way you were breathing then, having achieved that amazing goal. And I want you to notice, what's your main emotion that you're feeling now? What's the main belief you have about yourself? What's the main concern that you're experiencing? And what's your next main goal? And as you focus on all of those 4 things, when you're ready, go ahead and open up your eyes and write them all down in the future 4 column. Okay, great. Now when you're ready, let's move on to the next step. Go ahead and close your eyes. Step further into that future moment, having achieved just that last goal that you set. And it feels so good to know that you've achieved it. And in that moment, seeing it through your own eyes, really experience that moment. Breathe the way you're breathing then. Say what you're saying to yourself. Hear the things you're hearing in that moment, having achieved that goal. And now ask yourself, what's my main belief that I have? What's the main emotion that I'm experiencing? What other concerns do I have? And what's my next goal that I'm going to set for myself? And when you have this, and I know you have, open up your eyes and write them down in the future 5 column. Your main belief, your main emotion, your main concern, and your next main goal. Fantastic. Okay, so the next part of the process is we're going to neurologically link them up so that you have this strong association, and so they feel like it just becomes one big long story rather than many finishing lines or finishing points. And so what happens is that desire to sabotage will be completely removed when we start to link them neurologically. And so we're really just going to chain them together in your brain just so they all seem like one long journey. Now, throughout this process, if you need to glance down at your worksheet and see what you've written, that's completely fine. In fact, quickly glance down now at all the steps again so you can take them all in. And like I said, it's okay if you need to have a quick glance throughout the steps. Just open up your eyes and then have a look and then close them again, going back into the process. So just sit back comfortably and I'll guide you through this process. So go ahead and close your eyes and go right back to your past, before where you were today. And in this place, seeing it through your own eyes, I want you to notice the belief that you had about yourself. I want you to notice the emotion that you felt. I want you to notice what concerns you had. And then what was your goal back then? And as soon as you notice all these things, I want you to float forward, step forward in your mind's eye to this present day, to where you are right now. And as soon as you step forward, just notice as the past just cuts off. The past is just gone. That's right. And there you are, standing in today. And just notice how good it feels to get here. Notice the success that you've achieved from getting from where you were to where you are right now. And I wonder if you think back to that person who you were in the past and how much they would love to be the person that you are right now. And from here, I want you to know that main belief you have about yourself, the main emotion that you're feeling, the main concern that you have, and the main goal that you've got for yourself in this present moment. And now that you've got this, I want you to move forward in your mind's eye, floating forward again. Step forward into that future moment, having achieved that next goal. And as soon as you move forward, just notice the past just cuts off. The past is just gone. It's blank. That's right. And I want you to notice in that moment, having achieved that goal, now I want you to notice, what's the main belief that you have? What's the main emotion that you have? What's the main concern that you have? And what's the next goal that you're setting for yourself? That's right. And as soon as you have all of that, I want you to just step forward into the future again and just notice as the past just melts away, melting away behind you. The past just disappears. As you move forward into that future moment again, having achieved the next goal, moving closer to achieving your full destiny and potential. And it feels absolutely great, doesn't it? That's right. And from here, in this moment, I want you to look at what's the main belief about yourself. What's the main emotion that you're feeling? What's the main concern that you have? And what's your next main goal? And as you focus on all those four elements, now I want you to take another step forward in your mind's eye into that future moment, having achieved that next goal. And it feels great, doesn't it? And as soon as you step forward, just notice as the past just drops away. As you're standing there, having achieved that next goal. And just know that looking forward, there's so much more ahead of you now. And from this point, I want you to notice what's the main belief you have about yourself? What's your main emotion that you're feeling? What's the main concern that you have? And what's your next main goal? And when you're ready, step forward again into that future moment, having achieved the next goal. And as soon as you do that, just notice as the past just melts away. And as you stand there, the future you, having achieved that next goal, I want you to ask yourself, what's my main belief? What's my main emotion that I'm feeling? What's the main concern that you have? And what's the next main goal that you're focused on achieving? That's right. Good. And as soon as you're ready, take the next step forward into that future moment, having achieved that next goal. And as you step forward into that next point, I want you to notice as the past behind you just melts away. That's right. It just melts away behind you. And as you stand there, the future you, having achieved this amazing goal, I want you to ask yourself, what's my main belief about myself now? What's my main emotion that I'm feeling? What's my main concern? And what's my next main outcome? That's right. Good. And as you stand there in your future, your destiny, I want you to now take the time to look behind you and notice all the steps you took to get there. And notice that each step, each belief, each emotion, each concern, and every fear was there for a reason. Everything has contributed to helping you get to where you are in this moment. And as you float back from then all the way back to now, and you know all the steps you need to take in order to move forward. And as you consider all these steps, you notice how much easier it is to take action now. And you can go ahead, and when you're ready, now you can open up your eyes. Welcome back. How was that? Let me ask you, what's different? What's changed? How's that old problem you used to have? What we've done is you have powerfully and neurologically linked up all these goals together. Now, sure, there are some concerns that you may have experienced, and that's fine. There will be some emotions there and some beliefs as well. And so what's happened is unconsciously, that self-sabotage that you may have experienced in the past is completely removed now. That's right. Now, you're more than welcome to take yourself through this exercise again, multiple times. I want to thank you for spending the time with me, allowing me to take you through that process. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to email us. You can catch us, you can email us on support@australiansuccess.com. There'll be a link below this video so you can actually easily get in contact with us. We'd love to hear some feedback. What did you like? What did you dislike? Again, I want to thank you for allowing me to serve you tonight and take you through that amazing process and helping you overcome the self-sabotage that you once experienced in the past. Now, for those of you that are interested, as I spoke about at the start of this webinar, is we actually run another course called Intimate Success. And a relationship is one of the biggest contributors for either pain or pleasure in anyone's life. If you think back to some of the moments you've had in your life where you've felt the most pain, there's a good chance it's been related to maybe heartbreak or something that an intimate partner has or hasn't done for you. If you think about the most rewarding moments, well, they're generally with that intimate partner when they've done something to just light you up. And so Intimate Success is a 2.5-day course where we run in pretty much every capital city in Australia, where we'll show you and teach you the tools, the skills, and the strategies used by the world's most successful relationship therapists. And a relationship really is just one of those vehicles in life that everybody has. And so much, again, like a car, people typically spend more money on servicing their car than they ever spend servicing their relationship. And they wonder why their relationship starts to break down or it just gets by. Well, look, for me, I don't want a relationship that just gets by. And I certainly don't want to end up as a divorce statistic. And so I will show you how you can easily learn these tools, these skills, these strategies, hints and tips so that you can keep that honeymoon feeling forever in your relationship. You may already have an amazing relationship. Well, I believe that there's always another level. And so we'll show you how you can take it to that next level. Maybe you're even single and would like to learn how you can change yourself so you can start to attract the person of your dreams by being the person of their dreams first. So whether you're in a relationship or whether you're single, Intimate Success is one of these courses that will just change your life forever. Now, if you're interested in coming along to Intimate Success, there are a number of events that we're running in a number of cities. We're about to start the tour, and that starts in Brisbane from the 20th to the 22nd of June. We then move on to Melbourne from the 8th to the 10th of August, then into Adelaide from the 15th to the 17th of August, and then from Sydney from the 29th to the 31st of August, and finally in Perth from the 12th to the 14th of September. Now, tickets to attend this event normally sell for $497 per couple. I want to make an irresistible offer that is just too good to refuse. And I know that it's the action takers and decision makers that are rewarded in life. And so I want to reward you today. For the next 24 hours, you can secure yourself a ticket to Intimate Success in any one of those cities for $29 per person. However, it is limited to 10 tickets per city, so you do need to be quick. Now, if you want to secure one of those tickets, then please send us an email to register your interest. We'll get back to you immediately. These tickets are not available online anywhere else. So you'll need to send us an email to register your interest. Then we'll send you a VIP link. You then, once you receive that link, click it, secure your seat. Now, please know that this is first in, first serve. It's limited to 10 tickets only per city, so you do need to take action immediately. Again, I want to thank you so much for your time, for your efforts. I love to be able to serve you. I look forward to being able to serve you again in future. Keep an eye on some upcoming webinars with some new ideas, really trying to support you and keep that personal growth happening. Keep an eye on our website, australiansuccess.com, for all the upcoming events that we're running. Any questions, please send us an email, get in contact with us. Once again, thank you very much. My name's Shane Fozard. and I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye for now.